Good afternoon everybody and welcome to the stream. I'm Robert from the El Magnifico Games channel, and today we're going to begin a playthrough of Wizard and the Princess. I keep wanting to say The Wizard and the Princess, which I think makes more sense, but that doesn't seem to be the actual title of the game. If you'll bear with me one moment. Oh dear, that is not what I intended at all. Sorry, technical difficulties. There we go. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to restart the game, but for some reason the game doesn't, it seems to lag a bit in ScumVM sometimes, or just drop input. I've not gotten to the bottom of that yet. Anyway, so what is this game, and why are we playing it? It is the, arguably the first King's Quest game. Arguably. I actually missed this game when we initially went through and played the King's Quest games because it didn't have King's Quest in the title. But crucially, this game, which was released in 1980, so I think that would make it one of the first Sierra adventure games actually. I mean, it says here High Res Adventure number 2, so that might literally be their second game. It happens to be set in the same location that they subsequently set King's Quest V, and I believe there have been some Sierra sources that have listed it among their King's Quest games. So I feel like this is probably only became a King's Quest game after the fact, if that makes sense, around the time they wrote King's Quest V. But you know, it is clearly set in the same universe as King's Quest, and as I say, has been regarded as a King's Quest game. Oh, hey Mealy, lovely to see you. How are you today? Let me give you a shout out. Still falling, I see. I should remove that. There we go. There we go. Sorry, I had a graphic violence tag up from Elden Ring. I just realised I need to take that down. Anywho, so that's what Wizard and the Princess is. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I should say at this point. I don't think so. I think we just... Oh, hang on. What I should be doing is reading the manual, shouldn't I? Which is actually very short. Interestingly enough. Where is it? There it is. And OBS is doing its usual thing of not updating the window. Wonderful. What was the trick I had to do? I had to get it to capture some other random window, didn't I? And then when I go back to it, it will work. There it is. There we go. Mealy, a Belgian-Lebanese streamer, enjoys first playthroughs of scary games with jump scares. I've no idea if this game's going to have any jump scares. They often engage their chat and offer giveaways. Recently, they've been playing Egging On, an all-in-one game type game. With a focus on big crazy redeems, the streams are multilingual, featuring Arabic and French. And English. What sort of giveaways do you do, if you don't mind my asking? Anywho, so here we are. This is the manual. This is actually for a slightly different version of this game to the one we've got. Ours is for the Apple II, which I think came out 6 years later. But nevertheless, it's the same game. You know, they may have had to re-implement it, and maybe they jazzed up the graphics a bit. I don't know, but it's the same game underneath all that. Oh, that's interesting. Look how the typography they've used for Wizard. The A is capitalized. It's Wizard and the Princess. By Ken and Roberta Williams. No one else is credited. So again, I can't be sure. I've not even researched the history of Sierra, but I suspect that the Sierra probably started as just this married couple that that probably got themselves a computer, an Atari by the looks of it, and probably just started, you know, writing text adventures. That would be my guess. Anywho, so travelling instructions, executing high-res adventures. To start the Wizard and the Princess executing, simply boot the disc. When booting the adventure disc, there must not be a cartridge in either side of the cartridge slots. Well, that's not relevant to us, but fair enough. Moving from place to place. In this game, you're in complete control and the computer is merely your puppet as you give it instructions which might aid in your quest. Yes, you say complete control. I played a very, very small amount of this to test it, and the text parsing seems particularly poor. Not a lot of synonyms. Really struggles with any complexity of sentence. It looks like it looks like it can't even handle prepositions. It just has to be literally verb, maybe with one noun after that. The computer has a tremendous vocabulary, although it only understands sentences of 1 or 2 words. There we go. We'll see about the tremendous vocabulary. That wasn't my initial impression. In most cases, this is a verb and noun, such as climb tree or cross bridge. Right, I am actually going to write that down, because we're going to want a list of verbs that the game understands. So climb and cross, apparently it will understand. In many cases, one word suffices, such as up, north, left or west. At times, a direction isn't sufficient to let the computer know where you wish to go. At these times, try moving towards something such as go tree or go cave. Okay, you use go as a verb, you understand. During your journey, you will encounter terrain that may call for flying, jumping, climbing. In all cases, do not become frustrated. Instead, think of a way to explain to the computer what it is you desire, and it will do its best to comply. Yeah, it's the doing its best part that's the difficulty. I know it's not ideal that I'm going into this apparently with such a negative outlook, but it does, like I say, I played a bit of it and it does seem like the text parsing is really basic. So we'll see. Maybe it'll change my mind. The world around you. As you travel, you may encounter objects which might serve you on your journey to save the princess. This is the first... I mean, I know the game is called The Wizard and the Princess, but don't forget, we have not had the story explained to us yet, so I don't know who this princess is. You may direct the computer to get or take these items. For example, a bow might be useful in battling dwarves. Who knows? Many strange beasts have been sighted around Serenia. Objects may have magic side effects. Some may even have been left by the evil wizard to delay your approach. To find what you're carrying at any time, type inventory. A few hints. The Wizard and the Princess is not a game that will be solved at one sitting. Well, I intend to finish this in one sitting, although I will resort to help online if I have to. What was I thinking? Yeah, I did have a look for hints for this game, and I literally couldn't find any online. I did find a bunch of walkthroughs, which is suboptimal. It would be much nicer to just have hints. But that's the thing. If it looks like if I can't figure things out, then on my own, then I'm going to have to resort to a walkthrough. Even slight progress may take weeks depending on your creativity, mood and experiences as an adventurer. Now that's interesting. I knew that they weren't expecting me to finish the games as quickly as I have been, but this is the first time we've been given an actual time frame. Weeks for slight progress, that's interesting. See, that sounds to me like they're expecting you to complete the game at the sort of pace that Chess by Mail would take. That, you know, you would just, whenever you get stuck, you would just move on, do something else, and then just come back at it maybe a few times each week, seeing if you can think of something until you make some progress. That's a very different way to playing these games than I've been playing them. I'm not sure what that emoji means. Mealy. Where were we? Involve the rest of your family. Make sure you... That's interesting. So help is allowed. Make sure you try to go every direction from every place you visit. A wise adventurer would keep a map of the places he has visited, and so should you. At times, the sands in the deserts can cause one to lose his sense of direction and wander aimlessly forever. This is not so if one is careful to note even slight changes in the terrain around you and note them on your map. Do not be afraid to experiment. The evil wizard is heartless but has kept his spells inside the computer thus far. He cannot hurt or otherwise blow up the program by trying new things. Oh, sorry, you cannot hurt or otherwise blow up the program by trying new things. The graphics. Each place you visit as you travel will be displayed on the television or monitor of your Atari 400/800 in colour. Below the picture will be a brief description of where you are. At times, if you ask the computer for a closer look at some portion of the picture, such as a knot on a tree, it will comply with a close-up if it thinks there's something that might help you. You'll notice that if you drop things, they will appear as part of the picture as they would if you dropped them while walking. Oh, I didn't know it'd do that. That's interesting. The Atari only provides for 4 lines of text on the screen. If a message to be... What do you mean, only 4 lines of text on the screen? You mean other than the massive picture you've put on the screen? I find it hard to believe that you could hook an Atari up to a television and yet there would only be space for 4 lines. Or there would be other technical limitations that would limit you to 4 lines. I mean, having not used one, I don't know that to be the case, but... Really? Seems unlikely. If a message to be output is longer than this, you will hear a beep, and the computer will hold up additional output until you press enter. If you wish to review your dialogue with the computer, you may press return without typing anything, thereby causing it to display the last 24 lines of your conversation. Oh, so that's what was going on, because every now and again the picture would disappear. That must be why. To resume play, simply press return again. Ah. Saving your adventure. If you desire to resume your game at a later time, you must let the computer know so it can save the game for your later play. Games are saved on a diskette other than the one with the gold label. That's presumably the one that the game comes on. Choose any initialized diskette you have and label it your adventure saved game disk. Hi-Res Adventure does not use the standard Atari disk operating system and will blindly clobber any data you may have on the disk. Huh. That's interesting. So they're using their own proprietary format for the save data on the disks. Why? Like, sure, they're going to have their own format for the save files themselves, but why change the file system? I don't see the point. Unless they're worried about people reverse engineering it or something, but I don't think that would stop them if they would, if they really wanted. I don't get why. That's weird. Therefore, make sure you pick a completely unneeded disc. Ooh, could it be that the Atari didn't have any like system functions you could call, or at least not for writing data? Maybe if they wanted to use the existing, maybe if they wanted to use the standard Atari file system, they'd have had to have written their own driver for it, and they just didn't want to do that. Blindly clobber any data you may have on the disk, therefore make sure you pick a completely unneeded disk. To request that your game be saved, simply say save game. You'll be prompted for a letter from A to L under which to save the game. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L. So that's up to 12 discs the Atari apparently supported, or at least this game. This is so that you may have several games saved at once. Oh, so that's part of their own format. Okay. To resume play, boot the disc as always, then type restore game. You'll be asked for the letter under which you save the game. If you wish to save the game and you do not have an initialized diskette, just type init disk anytime during the game, then follow the prompts. I'm kind of curious what that would do in ScumVM. Probably nothing. But just in case, maybe we shouldn't try that. If you wish to use the save game feature, you may have an initialized diskette to save your game on. For your convenience, we have added a command to Hi-Res Adventure init disk, which you may say anytime you have the prompt enter command. You'll be asked to replace your Hi-Res Adventure diskette with a blank diskette. It will take approximately 1 minute to initialize the diskette. That's a long time for, what is it, 1.44 meg, presumably? The total size of a floppy disk back then. At completion, you'll be asked to place your high-res adventure diskette back into the drive. The freshly initialized diskette will now be formatted as required to be used with the save game feature. If your disk should ever fail, if your disk fails within 90 days of purchase, return it to the dealer from whom you bought it, or send it to Online Systems for a free replacement. After this time, send it to us for $5. We will try to return all the disks the same day they arrive. And finally, if all else fails, you are totally stuck and about to burn the adventure diskette, check with your favourite store for a hint or call us during reasonable West Coast hours. Ooh, that's interesting. So does that mean that they don't have a dedicated hint line? You are actually calling the developers of the game. Did they even have like a list of hints? Or was it literally you're calling up the people that made this game and then on the spot they have to think of a hint? Good luck. Ken and Roberta Williams, Online Systems, 36575 Mudge Ranch Road, Course Gold, California, 93614, 209-683-6858. I don't know how addresses work in California, so I can't understand a lot of that, but I wonder if that was their phone number. Urgent note. This adventure occupies both sides of the disc. Side B is not copy protected. We strongly urge that you make a backup copy immediately. A backup copy can be made with the copy utility program supplied on side B. To use a copy utility, simply boot side B and then follow the prompts. Right, so presumably, is this going to be the story of the game? So we know what we're doing? Wizard and the Princess. High-Res Adventure number 2 by Ken and Roberta Williams. Oh, you've been to Course Gold. Would you like to elaborate? Tell us a bit about it. You don't have to if you'd prefer not to. You are a happy wanderer passing through a village in the land of Serenia when you notice a large crowd. Being a curious wanderer, I think they mean inquisitive, you saunter over to see what is going on. From the middle of the chaos you hear a bell ringing. As you get closer, you see the town crier with a proclamation from the King of Serenia. "Hear ye, he cries. His Majesty, King George, has just suffered a terrible loss. His fair daughter, the Princess Priscilla, has been abducted by the great and dreadful wizard Harlin to his castle beyond the Great Mountains." King George, eh? Funny that it was a King George when the USA gained its independence, and this fictional king they thought of, they just happened to have called George. The crowd is now hushed, waiting to hear more. The town crier then shouts, "His Majesty offers half his kingdom to anybody who can bring the princess back safely." Wow, okay, that is incredibly irresponsible. I mean, it's lovely that he loves his daughter so much, but that is a recipe for civil war, my friend. That is... I'm not sure that was the most responsible thing for the king to do, but there we are. Assuming he plans to go through with it. Maybe we bring the princess back and then are promptly executed. I don't know. I don't know what type of king King George is. That's all he has to say. But it leaves you shaking. Not only are you a happy wanderer, but you love an adventure as well. And half a kingdom is a great reward. You decide to find her. But where are the Great Mountains? As you look around, you see no mountains. Just a vast desert that seems to never end. You ask a villager where the Great Mountains are located, and he points to the north and tells you, "There are a great many dangers on the way to the Great Mountains, and the wizard Harlin is very powerful and bad." You thank the villager for his information and start off north. As you enter the desert, you check your belongings. You're carrying a flask of water, a small knife, a loaf of bread and blanket. Not much for such a long journey, would have to do, if you have no money. And so, you're on your way. Right. Let's get into it. It's small. For some reason I thought Sierra's company was in Seattle. I mean, maybe they were later. This was 1980. This was 1980 when this game originally came out. And I noticed that its title seems to be High Res Adventure number 2. So again, I was saying this at the beginning of the stream, I don't know, but I wonder if this was literally the second game they ever wrote, possibly working out of their own home. It says 1986 there, but I think that's when this version of the game on the Apple II was released. I don't think... Again, 1980 is the date when this game originally came out on the Atari, I believe. And possibly other platforms, I'm not sure. Hold on, just going to let Kara know that we're streaming in case she's interested. There we go. Right, where were we? You're in the village of Serenia. Around you is a desert. Enter command. So, this is... this is a text adventure. Sorry. This is a text adventure. All that graphical innovation in King's Quest 1 hadn't happened yet. The only thing that makes this different to any other text adventure of the time is the fact that they bothered to put these pictures together. That's, I think, what makes this a high-res adventure. Which I know sounds a bit comical now. It started on Oakhurst, California, another small town. Interesting. So yeah, I mean... The thing is, it's not giving me much information. It just says you're in a village. But I don't think we can do anything here. South. Around you is a desert. Enter command. Well, I see a rock on screen. Take rock. A scorpion behind the rock has stung you. You are now dead. Would you like to play again? Yes. It's gonna be one of those. Fine. I did actually see the first line of the walkthrough when I was looking for hints online, so I know I'm supposed to go south a load. Okay, that didn't work. Can I take a rock here? It is too heavy. Okay. North. 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 I can't get back to the village. But I did get back to this screen. So one of the things that's going through my head is this Euclidean geometry? Is this, if I go south a certain number of times and I go north the same number of times, will I always end up at the place I started? Right now I don't appear to be able to I don't appear to be able to get back to the village I started in, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's non-Euclidean. It could simply be that it's like a one-way exit, if you see what I mean. Alright. East then, I guess. That's non-Euclidean. Oops. I can't go east from here. Can I go west? I can't go west. I know I can go north because I did it before. Alright. I didn't do it on stream. That when I was testing the game, I went north. I wonder if I'm on a timer. Pet snake. I don't know how to pet. Okie dokie Pikachu. Stroke. Snake? I don't know how to stroke something. Befriend. Snake. I thought... I don't know how to befriend something. Now that's very relatable, isn't it? I thought it was supposed to have a tremendous vocabulary. Take rock. The rock is much too big. Tickle snake. I don't know how to tickle something. Take snake. I wouldn't try it if I were you. You're in a desert. North. The rattlesnake won't let you go north. South? Okay. Alright. South. North. Can't go in that direction. Okay. West. I can go west. Right, that's interesting. Let's see how far west I can go. Okay. West. Can't go that way. South. Can't go that way. East. East. East again takes me back to the village. Okay, south. West. North. South. Yeah, this is getting very non-Euclidean. Which, not a fan of personally, but there we are. Just gonna have to add some arrows to my map to help me understand or remember how everything's connected up. So, west, south. I can go this way, and there's a different rock here. Doesn't mean that if I try and pick it up I won't die. But we can try. A scorpion behind the rock has stung you. You are now dead. Okay. Well, we hadn't accomplished anything, so that doesn't matter too much. Alright. Nothing there. If I go east from here, and then I go north, I wasn't expecting to end up here. This is very non-Euclidean. Unfortunately, this is going to make it difficult for me to tell when scenes look identical, how am I supposed to tell them apart? If you see what I mean. So what did I do? I went west, then I went south, then I went south, then I went north, then I went north again. No, I didn't. South. South. West? Okay, I am completely lost now. East? East. Oops. East. Right, south. Sorry. So I went west, I went south, I went south, then I went east, then I went north, and I ended up here somehow. Most unhelpful. So by that logic, this... are we ad starting soon? We're not in an ad break yet. I think trying to draw an old-fashioned map isn't going to work in the desert. I think they're doing something more subtle. I'm trying to think. Hello, Karato. Lovely to see you. North, south, west, east, back, confirm, enter. Is that a adaptation of the Konami code? Oh, so I can't go south from here. Okay, that's fine. Alright, east, east, east. That little bit is consistent, at least. Like, that's... on my map, that little row... I can go east and west along and it does behave in a Euclidean manner. It's when I leave that bit that it starts getting a bit skew-whiff. Alright, west, south. I'm wondering if that is actually the same place I was before. As in, if that is the very same rock. If it is, then going east will take me... It doesn't take me to the village, so that is a different rock. Alright. Examine rock. There's a scorpion behind the rock. You're lost in the desert. Knife scorpion? I don't know how to knife something. A flask of water, a pocket knife, a loaf of bread, blanket. Oh, thank you for giving Karato a shout out. I do appreciate it. Cut scorpion? I don't know how to cut something. Stab scorpion? A scorpion behind the rock has stung you. You are now dead. Well, that's suboptimal. South. Examine rock. Kill scorpion? I don't know. I don't know what to do. I'll take suggestions from chat. Step on scorpion. It won't understand on. It doesn't have any understanding of prepositions. At most, it'll accept 2 words. Examine scorpion. Squash. Squash scorpion. I don't know how to squash something. I don't think eating scorpion's gonna help Pikachu. There's, no way. I did try take scorpion and I'm pretty sure I died. Oh, I don't see it here. Wait, what? Did I misspell it? Take scorpion. Oh, I don't see it here. Smell scorpion. If you insist, Pikachu. I don't know how to smell something. Can I take the rock if I'm close? No. I'm wondering if I need a different rock. If there's a different rock somewhere in this desert that I can take. The trouble is, we know that the geometry of this desert is non-Euclidean. And a lot of the scenes look literally identical. So it's going to be very, very, very hard to navigate. Like, how am I supposed to draw a map of this if I can't even tell if I've looped back to an area I've been before? Speak scorpion. No way. How do I get out of this? Unexamined? Leave? Back? Wait. Where is back taking me? Is back just a synonym for south or something? Maybe. Hang on, am I where I think I am? No. Oh, maybe. Yes, I am. Oh, okay, that's notable. Okay, so... if I leave the village, and I just travel south, and then I travel north, we end up where we started. That is Euclidean. If I go east... and then, sorry, if I go west and then I go east, again, we end up where we started. It's only if I go, outside that column and that row, both, in which case it starts getting really non-Euclidean. That might be useful. That's true, I can look at the cactus. Examine cactus. Please leave the cactus alone. Okay. West. Hang on, let's try this a different way. So if I go south, and then I go west, I'm not allowed. That's interesting. But I can go south, south, and then... and then west. And that rock is in a different position. But it does also have a scorpion behind it. Sand, sky, rock, all the rocks, every rock. So here's my current thinking. I think I'm supposed to find some specific path. Wait, examine rock. You see nothing special. Take rock. We've got a rock. So I was right. The problem is, how would I reproduce that? As I was saying, it's non-Euclidean. So, and a lot of the scenes look literally identical. So it's really not obvious what path I took, if you see what I mean. I can't map it out in the conventional sense. Well, we made it back. That calls for another save. So progress has been made, everyone. Right, if I go north, we get to the rattlesnake. Rock. Throw rock. You hit the snake on the head with a rock and kill it. Take snake. Why would you want to? I mean, meat? I imagine it's worth something. Make snake soup out of it. Ooh, no, you wouldn't, would you? You wouldn't have snake soup where you're from, Pikachu, would you? Take rock. Hey. A large rock, a flask of water, pocket knife, a loaf of bread, a blanket. That's our current inventory. Right. Guess I save again. It appears we are thoroughly lost in this desert. The chat suggestions for engaging with a scorpion and cacti are most creative. Frosty, are you casting shade on my suggestions? Why don't you come up with something if you're so clever? My apologies. If my previous remark caused offence, Pikachu, I merely found the creativity of the suggestions rather admirable. Perhaps given our current predicament of being lost, a command such as look or examine might yield some useful information about our immediate surroundings in this vast desert. East. Okay, there is somewhere to the east. We didn't know that for sure until now. Can I go south from here? I can. Can I go west? I can't. We're lost again. This is being non-Euclidean. I should have ended up at the village again. I don't know why they suggest that you make a map in the manual when they deliberately go out of their way to make the area extremely difficult to map. Like I say, there are two parts to the problem. It's not just that it's non-Euclidean, but it's non-Euclidean and most of the scenes look identical. What am I supposed to do with that? There we go. North again? Well, this looks new. You are hot and thirsty. I think you'd better drink some water. Drink. There is a rattlesnake here. You'd better watch out. Throw rock. The snake is too quick for the rock and dodges out of the way. There is a rattlesnake here. You'd better watch out. Take rock. It is too heavy. So the rock's gone then. The rock we had before is gone. I wasn't expecting a second rattlesnake. North? Oh, I can keep going. Drink. You have no water. Another rattlesnake. Examine snake. North. 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 Examine ground. I don't know how to examine a ground. Is that an amulet or something, or a necklace? Examine necklace. There's a locket here. Take locket. Okay. I should save. Examine locket. The locket is closed. Open locket. Okay. Examine locket. Lucy. Okay. North? You can't go in that direction. East. North. East. East. No. West. North. West. What is that? You see nothing special. There was a note here. Take note. Examine note. Okay. I don't think that's writing. West. West. South. North. You're at the south edge of a deep chasm. There is a cottage and some woods on the other side. Well, seems like progress. Now I'm next to the chasm. Hopefully the game will be a little more Euclidean. I can't go in that direction. The snake bites you. You are dead. Let's load. Wait, what? Does loading not work? There's no snake this time. Was the snake just bad luck then? The snake must be randomized. Like they did with the witch in King's Quest 1. That doesn't... Okay, that doesn't... I wouldn't do that if I were you. You're at the south edge. Okay, so I can't go south and I can't go west. And there's a chasm in front of us. It's very deep. There is a stream at the bottom. You're at the south edge of a deep chasm. There is a cottage and some woods on the other side. Do I have the items I need to deal with this? Parachute down using the blanket? Climb down. It's too steep. You fall to your death at the bottom of the chasm. Would you like to play again? Dearie me. This is where hints would be useful as opposed to a walkthrough. It would be really nice to know if I'm missing an item that I need. Or if I can just finish this as is. I'm trying to think, like, what would enable us to cross here? I assume we're supposed to cross here, but it is genuinely a difficult logistical problem. Like, we'd need a bridge, or failing that, you know, get a rope across or something. I mean, how would you cross something like this in real life? I mean, I'd assume you'd have to, like, use climbing gear and be very, very, very careful going down and back up the other side. Examine cottage. Shout? Hey Tato, lovely to see you. How are you today? I don't know how to shout something. Talk? You're no way. Okay. Examine forest. I'm doing aight. That's good to hear. What is that in the distance? Do you see that thing sticking up in the distance that we can't get towards? I had some milk and 3 raw eggs. Oh, a protein shake. Mixed together? Yeah. I used to make my protein shakes out of milk, raw eggs and skim milk powder. A protein shake or salmonella shake, whichever works. No, you should be fine. As long as the eggs haven't been washed, you won't get salmonella from them. Just those ingredients? Yeah. I can't make that. Yeah, because US eggs get washed, don't they? So you would get salmonella from them if they were uncooked. Leave me alone, snake. Oh, the snake actually spawned in as we loaded, which is unfortunate. It seems like the actual act of loading causes time to pass in game. I had an egg on rice with soy sauce and sesame oil. What's happening in this game? We're saving a princess. Who knows? Omu rice? It's a text adventure. It's the game I talked about, Wizard and the Princess, which is arguably a King's Quest game. Arguably the very first one, 1980, even though it doesn't have King's Quest in the title. So this is the very last one to play. Yeah, that's chicken and ketchup fried rice wrapped in an omelette. I thought it was omelette and rice. What am I looking for? See, I've had one idea about how I could maybe get some hints. I don't know if it's gonna work, but hear me out. Since I can only find walkthroughs online, what if I find a way to give ChatGPT the walkthrough and then I ask it questions? I don't know. Will that work? Almost Tamagoka Kegohan. Gokake Gohan. Tamago Kake Gohan. Wait, Tamago Kake Gohan, doesn't that literally translate to egg on rice? I'd read the walkthrough and tell you, but I don't know what's happening in the game. We're travelling through a desert. Not much has happened. So, hang on. I'll reread the plot summary for the start of the game. And then I'll tell you everything that we've done in the game so far, which is very little indeed. You're a happy wanderer passing through a village in the land of Serenia when you notice a large crowd. Being a curious wanderer, I think they mean inquisitive, you saunter over to see what is going on. From the middle of the chaos you hear a bell ringing. As you get closer you see the town cry with a proclamation from the King of Serenia. Hear ye, he cries. His Majesty, King George, has just suffered a terrible loss. His fair daughter, the Princess Priscilla, has been abducted by the great and dreadful wizard Harlan to his castle beyond the great mountains. The crowd is now hushed, waiting to hear more. The town crier then shouts, His Majesty offers half his kingdom to anybody who can bring the princess back safely. That is all he has to say. But it leaves you shaking. Not only are you a happy wanderer, but you love an adventure as well, and half a kingdom is a great reward. You decide to find her, but where are the great mountains? As you look around, you see no mountains, just a vast desert that seems to never end. You ask a villager where the great mountains are located, and he points to the north and tells you, There are a great many dangers on the way to the great mountains. And the wizard Harlan is very powerful and bad. You thank the villager for his information and start off to the north. As you enter the desert, you check your belongings. You're carrying a flask of water, a small knife, a loaf of bread and a blanket. Not much for such a long journey, but it would have to do, for you have no money. And so you're on your way. So that's the intro to the game. We started in the village. We managed to find a rock that didn't have a scorpion behind it, because most of them had scorpions behind them that stung us to death. We picked up the rock, we went back to the village, we went north, we threw a rock at a rattlesnake that had been blocking our way. Snake is dead. I picked up the rock again, I carried on travelling, and now we've arrived at this chasm. On the other side of the chasm there is a cottage and there is a forest, although they call it a forest, I see one tree. Anywho, that's where we are. That's everything. But the egg I had on rice was mostly cooked. It's supposed to be raw, but the US is the US. Yeah. Grow your own eggs. You're in a desert? Which seems like the starting of the game in the walkthrough. Yep, I'm still in the desert. There's a chasm in front of me. And I don't know whether there's a clever trick to get across, or if I'm just missing an item. It is too wide to jump across. And now a rattlesnake's appeared. Throw snake. You aren't carrying it. There's a rattlesnake here. Throw at snake. Right, so Tato, one of the things we have learned is the text parser in this particular adventure game is really, really primitive. It accepts at most 2 words. It doesn't understand prepositions. So I can't throw anything at a snake. I could throw rock, but I tried that before and this snake just dodges. Yes, exactly. Throw knife? The knife is too small. There's a rattlesnake here. Have I lost the knife now? No. Oh, I picked up a note. Oops. The snake bites you. You are dead. Wonderful. This is what the note shows. Like, this is, like, literally. This is the information, all the information I have to go on. Use something. It might be a use situation. Ah, can I go forest? You're at the south edge of... Oh, which direction? Go cottage. Well, this is hilarious. The rattlesnake has appeared on our note. Do you have something brown and sticky? No, I don't think so. I have a large rock, an empty flask, a pocket knife, a note, a loaf of bread. That might be brown and sticky. And a blanket. Maybe you're right. Maybe I'm looking for... Maybe I'm looking for another item first. Not that I see how a stick would help. I'm pretty sure, yeah, throw rock. The snake is too quick for the rock and dodges out of the way. So, I've already killed one rattlesnake with the rock. But the second rattlesnake, which is a different colour, seems to be rock proof. This second rattlesnake seems to be a random event. Oh, take stick. Well, I have something brown and sticky now. Okay. I'm back at the chasm. Use stick. No way. Okay, do I need the snake? Funnily enough, the one time I actually want the snake, it's not appearing. Unbelievable, isn't it? There we go. Use stick. You hit the snake on the head with the stick and drive it away. You're in the desert. Okay. Fantastic. I can get rid of the snake now, but that doesn't help me get across the chasm. Although I appreciate the help. I was saying this earlier, part of the, trouble is I literally cannot think how I would cross that chasm in real life, let alone in the game. It's supposed to be a steep vertical chasm that's too wide to jump. Like, hypothetically, if you could get a rope on the other side and secured, that would require you to have some way to get the rope on the other side, though. Which we presumably don't have. Like, you know, hypothetically, if there was like a sticky outy rock that looked really strong, you could try and lasso it or something. But that's not the situation we're in. Other than that, I can't think of a way to do it other than climbing equipment. Other than literally getting some pitons out and very carefully climbing down one side and very carefully climbing up the other. What if you're a wizard and there was a magic word? That's an oddly specific thing to say. Let's examine that note again. See, I didn't think that looked like English. I mean, what would that be? N-U-L-U backwards C. If I read it the other way up, it would be CN7 NU. I know what the word is. And the character count matches. Oh dear. So I think this is how you get it. We could mirror image it. UN, but then we end up with something that's doesn't really work. It wouldn't be an L if it was mirrored. Show me your inventory once. Okay, inventory. A large rock, an empty flask, a stick, a pocket knife, a locket, a loaf of bread, a blanket. Oh yeah, I do have a locket that says Lucy on it. I forgot to mention that. Everything you are carrying disappears. You have nothing left. For for goodness sake. Well, I know what word it isn't. Looks like you have all the stuff, just need a word. That's good to know. It's not the lines that aren't there, is it? No, I don't think so. I'll tell you one character when you ask. Okay, that's very kind of you. I'll puzzle a little bit longer, but hopefully not too long. It could be that it's just missing lines. Fold note. I don't know how to fold something. You were somewhat right with mirroring. Oh! OH. No, that doesn't work. I was thinking if it was like top half and... Oh, hang on. What if I read it the other way up? O... I... T... I... W. O... I... T... I... W. Well, that's a shame. I was thinking if you mirror it and then combine the top and bottom and then you like rotate it. I suppose it could be M-I... Oh no, because then the T ends up upside down, which doesn't help. Mirror up. U-N... But then you end up with something that's not a character. Like the thing that looks like an L right now, the middle one, you mirror it up and you end up with something that just isn't a character. One letter is still bothering me, but okay. Well, you'd end up with UN something, N, and again it wouldn't quite work, would it? Because the three lines on the end, even mirrored, wouldn't make sense. L equals C. H O C O, but then you end up with like a backwards E, which would be a 3. Hoko 3. So it's the last one that's presumably the troublesome character. Fourth one was bothering me, by the way. Fourth one? But that's the same as the second, isn't it? They'd both be O. And now so is the last one. So we're thinking it's Hawk. I don't know how to interpret the fourth one as anything other than either O or 0. I think you have 1/2 missing. Right. So it could be anything. Anything that has that at the bottom. There's supposed to be something in area below. Is there a second note that I didn't pick up? Turn note. I don't know how to turn something. What do I have in my inventory? A large rock, an empty flask, a stick, a pocket knife, a locket, a loaf of bread, a blanket. Observe rock. I don't know how to observe something. Examine rock. You see nothing special. Could it be a specific rock? Not the one in my inventory. Examine rock. You see nothing special. Look, sorry? In rock, I think. Drop rock. Could the rock in my inventory have been overriding the rock that was here? Examine rock. No. Take rock. Too big. Look hole. No hole. I can only assume it's in a different spot. Examine rock. South, where you rocked the snake. That's where I rocked the snake. South of here is the village. And now we're back to the scorpion rocks. Get rocked through the snake. Move south. Look hole in the rock. Right, okay. That presents a problem because I don't think we ever actually... I don't think we ever actually figured out for definite the direction I had to go in. I found the rock, but I was wandering. Hang on, I'll tell you what. I probably have a save from back then. That will probably be easier. It would probably be easier to get back to where we were than... Right, this is probably where I picked up the rock. Yes. You can go south from that direction. No help there. Okay, I may end up looking this up then. It says get rock back after hitting snake with it. I did that. I've got it. So that's where we hit the snake, and I do have the rock. I believe you, Tato. I'm gonna look this up myself. It may make more sense to my eyes. Wizard and the Princess. Hints. Although I probably need a walkthrough. Well, I said before I couldn't find hints online, only a walkthrough. Right, there's a cactus with a hole in it. West of where we get the stick. Oh, blimey, what happened? Oh, I've been raided by Bex. Goodness me. Happy days. Hello, Bex. I hope your stream went well. So for those that don't know me, I'm Robert, and this is the Magnifica Games channel. We play old games and we play new games. We play games that require you to think, and we play more actiony games. Today I'm playing Wizard and the Princess, which is a text adventure by Sierra. It's considered by some to be in the King's Quest series because the place where it is set became the setting for one of the King's Quest games later on, so it's in the same universe. And yep, I've been struggling a bit. It's a bit obtuse, but that's to be expected. I'm very lucky to have Tato with me, who's been helping me out, looking stuff up. Ooh, a proper old-fashioned text adventure. It is indeed. Was this not where I picked up the stick? I was told there, according to the walkthrough, which I had to just resort to, I was told there'd be a cactus. Oh, there's the cactus with a hole in it. Right. Examine hole. There we go. There's a cracker here. Take cracker. Examine cracker. Oh my goodness, this game. Sometimes it likes to spawn rattlesnakes on the screen, but it doesn't think about whether it makes any sense for there to be a rattlesnake on the particular screen you're on. Use stick. You hit the snake on the head with the stick and drive it away. Good. Examine cracker. You see nothing special. Examine note. Were you expecting me to find a cracker? Do I eat the cracker and then it's like a fortune cookie? Get cracker, not take, for some reason. Well, I think they're synonyms. Let's quickly save. How'd your stream go, Bex? Oh, stream was chill, sorry. That's good to know. What were you up to? Eat cracker. I'm wondering if it's like a fortune cookie. Okay, the cracker is kind of stale. You're in the desert. And the cracker is indeed gone. So that didn't help. Oh, you're playing Phasmophobia, I think, with Vixley. I did read that. They had a new update a couple of weeks ago, didn't they? Yes, because I think you were saying how spoopy it was. Alright, so I'm looking at the walkthrough because I'm stuck. So we've got the rock, we've thrown the rock, we've drunk some water, we've got the stick, we've got the cracker. Then you go north. There is a snake trapped by a rock. Get rock and the free snake will give you a magic word. What? Okay. Fine. Fine. Take rock. When you remove the rock from the snake's tail, the snake looks at you and says, I am the king of the snakes, and to repay you, I will give you a magic word. Then he leaves. You're in the desert. Alright. Okay, so this is where the other part of the note is. Sorry, I don't mean to play the whole game by the walkthrough, but we were stuck for quite a while. I hope the magic word was hiss. Okay, we've got rid of the snake. Examine hole. Take note. Read note. Examine note. Examine note. How do I determine which note I'm looking at? Examine. Combine? No? I don't know how to combine something. Oh dearie me. I'll just switch to another guide. Yep, it still spooks me. Told you to free snake from rock. Add. Gonna lurk and get dins. Okie dokie. I hope you have a lovely dinner. So I now have 2 nodes. Maybe I just have to. Maybe I'm not allowed both at the same time. Maybe I literally have to draw this myself. Which is fine if that's the case. Right. I did find the other half. Okay, good. Right. Examine note. Right, I'm copying this out. So we have 2 vertical lines for the first character. 2 vertical lines and a horizontal for the next, and so forth. Right, now if I drop this, and then examine note, I get the other note. Well, not massively useful, I have to admit. Adolf Rickenbacker was the innovator who first used an amplifier with a guitar, changing the course of music history. Oh, sorry, I must have skipped a bit. Who was the Swiss-born Californian pioneer that first amplified the sound of guitar, revolutionising the music industry? Find out when the ads end in about 3 minutes. Take note. Examine note. Yeah, I haven't made a mistake. The guide just says one is the upper half of the word, while the other is the lower half. Unless I'm being very stupid, this doesn't work. What do we think, chat? I can show you the other half if you like. Ah, maybe I do need to mirror it. Hang on. If I mirror it, what do I end up with? That would become an O. That would become a C. That would become an N. That would become an S. What about that? I think that would become an H. If I mirrored each half but kept the same bits at the top and bottom, I'd end up with HOCNS. Could it be Hocus? It's Hocus. Okay. Oh, I see. So, yes, I get it now. It was, in fact... That is correct. One half is the top half and one half is the bottom half. It's just presented the opposite way round to what you'd expect. Like, the top... the note with the top part is actually the bottom part of the word. Yeah, it looks like the lower is the upper half. Exactly. Okay. So north. We should save. This is progress. North. Okay. You're at the north edge of a deep chasm. There is a bridge spanning the chasm. Examine tree. You see nothing special. Examine building. Enter cottage. Okay, there is an apple here. You're in a one-room cottage. It's almost empty except for a couple of tables. That's a bit weird, isn't it? I don't think this is really a cottage if it doesn't have... You know, if it's not furnished as such, is it? If it's one room and it's not furnished, you know, like there's no bed or anything, there's nothing to cook with. I'm not sure this is a cottage. This is more like an elaborate shed. Examine table. Alright, I'll take the apple. Examine apple. The apple looks delicious. Take table. The tables are too heavy to carry. It's almost empty except for a couple of tables. Alright, leave. No way. Exit? How do I leave? West? Okay, we're out. West? Nope. East? Well, I should have seen that coming. North? Blimey. There's a little gnome here. You're in the woods. Talk. The little gnome grabs some of your things and runs away with them. You're in the woods. Was that bad RNG? Because knowing Sierra, that could have been just bad RNG. And it makes a difference, because sometimes you will lose a game just because of bad RNG. A large rock, an empty flask, a stick, a pocket knife, a large rock, an apple. Do you think he took stuff we didn't need? West? Oh, blimey. You're at the edge of the woods. You see the ocean. What is that? A cat? Examine cat. I don't know how to examine a cat. Examine bear? Examine animal. Look. West? You can't go that direction. East? East. Oh, examine hole. The hole is large enough for you to fit through. I'm not sure we want to do that, do we? Oh blimey, what's going on here? There is a parrot sitting in a tree. Take parrot. Oh! Give cracker. You don't have it. The cracker was stolen from me. Hold on. Again, that might be game-endingly bad. I don't know. As in, I might be soft-locked. Right, is that gnome still going to be there? Use stick. The little gnome grabs some of your things and runs away. Is it random what they take? I think it might be. Hiss. Nope. Drop. Cracker. North. South. South. Take cracker. North. Okay, that works. Alright. Holdy onny then. This is going to be a nuisance, but... let's put our stuff in here. Drop rock. I should write down everything I'm dropping, shouldn't I? I can't drop everything, can I? I can! Well, that makes life easier. It's almost empty for a couple of tables. I don't think so. West. North. There's a little gnome here. Talk. No way, there's a little gnome here. So the gnome won't do anything if we have no items on us. That's interesting. Alright. Just drawing a map. Hopefully the game will be a lot more Euclidean now than it was earlier. So there's a crevice here. That's interesting. That skipped where the parrot was. Okay, the map's at least mercifully small. Yeah, so it's basically just one big ring. We can go from the gnome to the tree with a hole in, to a screen with nothing, to the parrot, to nothing, to the crevice, to the tall tree, to the brook, back to the gnome. It's just one big circle. And the only interesting thing is like the middle, where you'd expect there to, in like a 9x9 grid, where you'd expect there to be a middle, there isn't one. If you try and go north or south through the middle, you just skip it entirely. If you try to go east or west, you're not allowed into that spot. Hey Mama Bear, it's lovely to see you. Happy Wednesday. This weather-spawned headache sucks, but your name lighting up chat feels like cool hands on my temples. Some days the sky presses pain into our bones, yet we still bloom in soft lanterns for each other. Proof that even thunder can't drown tenderness. Look softly, love fiercely. You're holding me together, y'all. I adore you all. Oh, thank you. That's a lovely thing to say. You always have the loveliest comments, Mama Bear. I'm sorry to hear about the headache. That is a bit rubbish. Yeah, that is rubbish. I hope you're holding up all right. Enter hole. Ooh, you're inside a tree. There are stairs leading downward. There is a hole leading outwards. You can't go in that direction, so I can't go up. Down. You're at the bottom of the stairs. There is a little door here. Open door. The door is locked from the other side. Knock. I don't know how to knock. something. Alright. Enter hole. There we go. So what are we doing? I know I'm supposed to get the cracker to the parrot. Examine brook. Okay. Climb tree. Wait, what? You're at the top of the tree. You see an ocean in the distance. Oh, okay. I thought I went to some other land for a moment, like eye in the sky. Examine ocean. Down. Interesting. East. Examine crevice. Enter crevice. You couldn't fit through a small crevice. I still don't know what that creature there is. I can't seem to interact with it. Alright. So what are we thinking? If I take the cracker, will the cracker be stolen? Yes. Okay, so the gnome will take anything on my person, it looks like. Unless they really are specifically going after the cracker. What could I... Hang on. This is before I dropped everything. I'm not going to need the note again, am I? So you can have the note. They didn't take it. Okay. Rob the thief. I would if I could. Why are there two rocks? I don't remember grabbing two rocks. I'm trying to narrow down what he's stealing specifically. Right, he's not interested in the notes of the rocks. We know he'll take the cracker. That much is clear. Not interested in the knife or the... What else did I have with me? The stick. Is it just the cracker he wants? I've got to try and remember what the stuff is. Take blanket. Take loaf. He took something. So what was it? The blanket and the... I've still got the blanket. It's whatever else I took. Was it the loaf? He took the loaf. Maybe it's food he's after. Oops. Drop food? Drop everything. Hang on, what actually is in my inventory? Let me check. A large rock, an empty flask, a stick, a pocket knife, a note, a large rock. Okay. Drop apple. Drop loaf. Drop cracker. Do I have anything else which is food on me? A large rock, an empty flask, a stick, a pocket knife, a note, a large rock, a locket, a blanket. He took something. What'd you take? A large rock, an empty flask, a stick, a pocket knife, a note, a large rock, a blanket. I'm not sure what he took. Wait, was it the empty flask? No. What'd you take? Was it the locket? Do you know what? It might actually be easiest for me. I've been putting this off. It might be easiest for me to just write everything down and then check off the things that he takes. A large rock. An empty flask. Stick, a pocket knife, a note, a cracker, a locket, a loaf of bread, a blanket, and that's everything. Right, north and then south. South. Inventory. Right, a large rock, an empty flask, a stick, a pocket knife, a note, the apple's still here, a blanket. Right. So the cracker goes. The locket goes. The loaf of bread goes. But not the apple. So it's the locket. He's specifically interested in the locket, the loaf of bread, and a cracker. Here's the problem. Supposing he can have one of those, how do I know which one he can have? How do I know which one's safe for him to take? Because I don't know what puzzles I'm going to be solving later on. I'm inclined towards letting him have the locket. On the grounds that if we speak the name in the locket, all our inventory disappears. So it seems like it was a cursed item left by the wizard to slow us down in our quest. As we were warned would happen. What was his name? The wizard? Harlin. That was it. Alright, let's test this quickly. Drop loaf. Drop cracker. Drop locket. West. North. North. Yep, so it's exactly those items that the gnome is taking. On the other hand, it could be the bread. It could be that we just don't use the bread. I'm debating whether I should look up the answer. I'm tempted towards doing that because it feels like this is just a huge waste of time. That you pick the wrong one and then you don't find out for several hours that actually you were supposed to keep that item. Oh, unfortunately I just saw the solution to part of the puzzle. They say don't talk to the gnome or he'll rob you. Well, we weren't talking to him and he was robbing us. Okay, Yeah, the thing I saw was we used the magic word hiss at the crevice. You suddenly turn into a snake. Enter crevice. You're in an underground tunnel. There is a small crevice going to the outside here. Sunlight is coming in through the crevice. North? I can't go in that direction. Hiss. Nothing happens. I can... So what is the benefit of being in this crevice? South? Ah. Open door? The door is locked from this side. I can't go in that direction. You suddenly turn into a snake. Oh, so not a snake already? Knock on door. Or knock door. Knock. Alright. North. 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 Yes. North. Wait, am I stuck? Leave. Enter crevice. There we go, we're out. So there's another one of those doors on the other side. I need to stop looking at that guide. I just saw something else. Fill flask. Should have thought of that myself, really, since I had an empty water flask, but still. Alright. Am I right in assuming the gnome's just gonna take this from us? Yep. Okay. Use stick. Talk gnome. Talk. What do I do about the gnome? I am gonna look at the guide a bit more. Stomp on gnome. Hey Beamer, lovely to see you. Let's give you a shout out. Good day, Beamer, a Canadian streamer, endeavours to play every game ever. Oh, so you'll be getting to this game eventually then? A most ambitious goal indeed. Currently they are travelling the lands between an Elden Ring with occasional forays into Nier Automata. The streams are welcoming to all, with a particular emphasis on inclusivity, a commendable endeavour I dare say. How's it going? I'm surviving, thank you for asking. Eventually. How have you been? Is there another guide I could use that is easier to just leaf through without giving everything away? Am I asking for too much? I may be asking for too much. What I really want is a hint. But as indicated before, I haven't found anywhere that gives hints. It says move north, look and the gnome will steal all items. The gnome steals all items if I have the items on me. Oh, I see. Hang on. I've rather misunderstood the situation. I'm supposed to get stolen from, I think. This is very much an assisted run. Okay, north, north, east, hiss. You suddenly turn into a snake. Enter crevice. South, south, south. There, that's where they end up. Take loaf. Take locket. Take cracker. Wonderful. South. Nope, north. 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 Enter crevice, which is how we leave. Okay, I have to turn into a snake again. Wonderful. Not too bad. I worked for the next 4 hours. But I beat Radahn second try last night, so that was cool. That's very, very good. Blimey, second try. What build were you using? Music's cool. I love older soundtracks for games. I hate to break it to you, but I'm playing this music. This game has no music. That would take a lot of trial and error without a guide. This is how the price point was justified back in the day. I know. I just wish, as a streamer, I had an intermediate option, you know? Like, with a lot of the games, I can find hint guides online. Or sometimes I'll have people in chat that have played the game before, and that can be very nice. You know, you keep trying until it's clear you're stuck, and then you look up a hint. But, when the choice is between figure it out on your own, which, you know, you might not do for hours, versus just look up the answer, I don't know, it's not my preference. Build is a term I don't use much. Skill points go where I want them. Well, what are you attacking with? Give cracker. Hang on, let's save. I assume the parrot takes the cracker. But to be fair, I don't know that. Give cracker. The parrot eats a cracker and is very grateful. Hang on, we saw a ship out at sea. Could that be a pirate ship? He sets a vial of liquid on the tree branch for you. There is a vial here. Take vial. Okay. Examine vial. The vial is full of a greenish liquid. Fairy liquid? You're in the woods. But the dragon halberd with ice lightning and some incantations is my go-to right now. Oh, okay. So you've got some faith, then. Is that a faith strength build? Is the dragon halberd a strength weapon? Does sound pretty good. Good, the gnome's not reappeared. So now we have a question of what can we... Hang on. How about I drink the potion, the vial, and just see what it does? Like, I know this is probably a bad idea, but... Drink vial. When you drink the vial, your arms turn into wings! You're at the edge of the woods. West? Fly. Fly which direction? You've changed back into yourself again. Drink vial. You have no water. Okay, so that was a one-off thing. Good thing growing wings wasn't detrimental for us in front of that giant cat-like creature. Drink vial. Fly west. Okay, that didn't help. Which is fine. Well, at least we know what it does. We just don't know where to use it. I started as a prisoner class and my intelligence was leveled first, but then I respected the Moon Lady to use my incantations. The spells seem way less up my alley right now. Oh, really? What? You mean you're not getting on well with faith magic? You preferred the sorcery? Or do you just mean that in general you're not a big fan of the magic? Climb tree. Drink vial. Fly. What direction would that be? probably southwest. No luck. I think the halberd only needs 22 strength and like 10 dex. Really good mid-game weapon. And no, I don't care for sorcerers. Incantations are much cooler. I must say I have been getting on well with the incantations myself. I've not tried the sorcerers. Magic from hand greater than magic from a staff. Well, now I have the predicament that I don't know what I need to do next. Examine ocean. See nothing special. Examine animal. I don't know how to examine an animal. Examine beast. Talk. No way. And way more affinities with incantations like lightning, poison, black flame, blood flame. Sorcery is just straight up magic usually. Oh, I see. I must say, I've been getting on extremely well with black flame. I've had that spell since towards the beginning, when Avon recommended that I grabbed it. And it's been a mainstay since. It's so good. Alright, I'll bite. What do I do next? Oh, unlock door. I could unlock the door. Because I tried to open the door and it said, oh no you can't, it's locked from the other side. But we'll test that actually and make sure I didn't misread it. I don't think I did. Open door. The door is locked from this side. That's on me then. The door is unlocked. You're in an underground tunnel. There is just enough sunlight coming in through the crevice to see. There is a little door here. Open door. I'm taking this is going to go to this tree stump. West? Nope. East? Nope. North? Nope. South? 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 Up? Enter door. Sorry, enter hole. There we go. So that does link up the way we thought that it would. Which doesn't help massively. Oh, give bread to the lion. I didn't know it was a lion. I kept trying to interact with it over and over. But because I didn't know that it wasn't mentioned at all. Because if I like examine cat, nothing. And that does not look like a lion to me. The lion won't let you pass. See, that's new dialogue. Up until now, how was I supposed to know that was a lion? Very grey lion. I know! That's annoying. Because we knew this creature was here, and I was specifically trying to interact with it over and over, and the game just did not give me the noun that I needed. You're at the edge of the woods, you see the ocean. What if I did go ocean? The lion won't let you pass. That's what I did wrong. I should have done go ocean, and then it would have told me it was a lion. Give bread. The lion wolfs down the bread and then walks away. I'm not sure in real life a lion would be satisfied with bread, but still, you're at the edge of the woods. West? North? Here we go. Oh, maybe north would have done it as well. Welcome back, Tato. Okay. You're at the edge of the ocean on a beach. There is a rowboat here. Examine shell. I think there's a shell on the left. Take shell. Take all. I don't see it here. Take everything. Is this just for just for aesthetic? Or is it expecting a different noun to shell? Evening beamer. Enter rowboat. There's a hole in the boat. What do I have? A large rock. A flask of water. A stick. A pocket knife. A note. Large rock. A locket. An apple. A full vial. A blanket. Leave boat. Leave. North. South. Water's leaked into the boat. You're dead. What? But we were still... We were still on the beach. Afternoon for me, a very rainy, snowy one at that. I'd die for snow. Did you rob the thief? I did! Never-ending heat where you are, Tato? A large rock, a flask of water, a stick, a pocket knife, a note, a large rock, a locket, an apple, a full vial, a blanket. It's still cold, just not snowy enough. It's dry cold. Oh, Tato. Well, to be fair, dry cold is probably better than wet cold. You won't want to be soaking wet and cold. If only you had something to plug the hole with. That's what I was thinking. That's not some sort of... That's not supposed to be cork, is it? No. You do. I do. The rock? Okay. Use rock. Use stick. Use blanket. Oh, I don't think that would work in real life, to be frank. I think all the water would get in anyway. But still, you stuff the blanket into the hole. Let's hope it works. South? I can't go in that direction. North? Ah, here we go. You're in the middle of the ocean. Hey! That would be east? Nope. You're very hot and thirsty. You can't go on. No! Why doesn't it give me any warning? I have more water that I can drink. But it doesn't warn me that I'm about to dehydrate. Just be grateful that you can drive without sliding all over the place, but I feel you, the snow makes it feel more Christmassy. I don't drive much, there's a small town and everything is walkable. Oh, then I see the want to walk in a winter wonderland. Why does it keep killing me like that? It should really be giving me a warning first. That's much better. Now your flask is empty. You're in a rowboat on the beach of an island. Leave. Exit. How do I get off? Get off? Get out? South? East? West? East? How do I get out of this boat? Try drinking the water in the boat? Nice. Yeah, it's just when do I drink it? Leave boat. Thank you. What is that X? Examine X. You see nothing special. That's surely something, isn't it? But again, it's not telling me what things are. X marks the spot. X can give it to you. Get a shovel and dig X? Maybe. Oh, ads in a minute. You see a treehouse and a large tree. Climb tree. The tree may not be climbed without help. You're in the jungle of the island. Take anchor. Although in real life an anchor would be far too heavy to do that with. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna have to make a map, aren't I? Else I'm not gonna be able to keep track of all this. Okay. Knock knock. Open the door, it's real. What term is used to describe a malicious program that replicates by attaching itself to other software? Find out when the ads end in about 3 minutes. That's a Trojan, isn't it? Path goes north, south, and west. Wait, what? I died. I missed how that happened. So I was trying to... Did we save since we got to the... We may not have saved since we got to the island. We did not. Alright, that's fine. We know what to do. Was it north or south? North. Wonderful. A virus or a worm? That's precisely correct, Tato. Both a virus and a worm are valid answers. Thank you for participating. Oh, they call it a worm, do they? I don't know any more lyrics. Sorry to disappoint. Me neither. I had to skip a few lines to get to that one. Yeah, I understand the reason. Ah, I see what I did wrong. This makes more sense now. My map was incorrect. Term for the nefarious software is a virus, known for its ability to spread and cause damage to computer systems. Well, I think virus is broader than just software that attaches itself to other software. Wait, so I went east, south, and then I went west, and I ended up at somewhere I've never been before. There is a cave in the middle of the island. A path goes east. Well, since I'm here, it would be rude not to take a look. Enter cave. You're in the cave. The cave ends right here. What's the point in the cave then? Unclear. Wait, you go in the middle of the ocean without a boat and drown. I can't go south. East we know. So those are all the locations we can reach, I think. I'm thinking that we're supposed to come back here. There we go. And yet, seems like if I try and wander off, the game doesn't let me get far. I get brought back here. Yep, there's a whole section for... I haven't looked at what it actually says for the island. But I just checked. The next section is called Island. So that does suggest... whatever happens next, it is supposed to be here. Can I dig without a spade? You have nothing to dig with. I don't use Hocus again, do I? No way. Climb tree. Shout? I don't know how to shout something. Go house. Which direction? You need to be Batman. The anchor is smaller than it appears. Use anchor? What to... It's like a piton to climb the tree. Examine anchor. Wait, do I have the anchor? Maybe I didn't pick up the anchor. No, I do have the anchor. Have we confirmed whether there are any soft locks in this game? I think there might... I'm not sure there is one. Oh, I probably need to drink the vial. Drink vial. Fly up. There we go. Take spade. Look. Leave house. I assume. Look once more, sorry. You see nothing special, you're in the tree house, yeah, just leave. I don't know what Piton is. Hey Sophie, lovely to see you. How are you today? Am I not using Piton correctly? I may be using it incorrectly. A spike, wedge or peg that is driven into rock or ice surface as support, as for a mountain climber. Yeah, I think that's broadly right, unless there's a special... I don't think you would normally do that with a tree. But, I mean, if you did, you'd call it a piton, wouldn't you? Or is there a special name for that? How did you fly? That's not what the guide says. I drank a potion. I had a vial. Hey, what's going on? Just playing an old text adventure. I'm doing great. Oh yeah, not a piton, but a grappler is what I was talking about. Am I soft locked? Do I need the vial later? Dig. You have uncovered a treasure chest. Open chest. I think so. A pirate jumps from behind a tree. Shiver me! Shiver me timbers, trying to steal my treasure. He grabs the chest and runs. You're on a beach on an island. North? He's probably put it in the cave. I hope not. I should probably check, shouldn't I? I've got the walkthrough open on another tab. Let me just search for vial. Okay, yeah. I am locked. I'm soft locked, so I need to reload. Well, that's why we checked. Alright, so I need to find another way up the tree. A large rock, an empty flask, a stick, a pocket knife, a note, a large rock, a locket, an apple, a full vial, an anchor. I get what you mean by making... Did you get the rope, by the way? No. How far back? Right, so that was what that shell was. It wasn't a shell at all, it was a rope. Give bread. North? North. So that's supposed to be rope. See, this isn't... Oh, there is a rope here. Okay, I missed that. That's on me. That is completely on me then. I was about to complain, but I have no right. North, north, west, no, east, take anchor, west, use rope, you throw the rope but it doesn't go far enough, use anchor, how do I rope anchor maybe? I don't know how to rope something. If I'm only allowed 2 words, how do I combine objects? Combine rope. Tie rope. Tie rope. Okay, so in this rare instance they've made an exception and it does understand more than 2 words, does it? Because if we go back to the manual, I am pretty certain they told us explicitly it only understands sentences of 1 or 2 words. And yet it is necessary to use more than 1 or 2 words to complete the game. Tie rope to anchor. To what? Oh, so tie rope to anchor? The anchor is tied to the rope, so that's how we do it. We have to do it in 2 sentences. Use anchor. The rope is thrown over the branch. You're in the jungle of the island. There's a tree house up in a large tree. The path goes east and south. Climb tree. Take spade. Sorry, take spade. Down. South. South. Dig. Open chest. North. North. West. Nope. East. South. East. Nope. West. Enter cave. Open chest. Examine chest? There is a small harp here. You're in the cave. The cave ends right here. Take harp. So that was the pirate's treasure. Now what? I'm pretty sure I oversaw when I was reading the guide about the vial, I saw that it wanted me to fly north. Yeah, I'm supposed to drink the vial now and fly off to the north. That is really not obvious. I would have been very unlikely to have realised that on my own. Wait, what? Oh, it was unhappy with me because I went north without... without using any item. There we go. We've reached another island. Up from North Beach. Indeed, Tato, directing our efforts up after ensuring the rope securely to the anchor seems a prudent course of action. It shall be interesting to observe what new vistas or challenges this elevation might present in our current aquatic predicament. Your insight is appreciated. Okay, we're somewhere new. Let's save. North, I guess. You've changed back into yourself again. There is a beautiful sapphire ring here. Take ring. Examine ring. You're in the foothills. South. East. West. North then. East. West. North. You're in the mountains. There is an old peasant woman here. Talk. She warns you of the giant who lives in the mountains. You're in the mountains. There is an old peasant woman here. West. Oh, I can go west. There's a slight drizzle. You're in the mountains. There is a gorge. There is a rickety bridge crossing the gorge. I don't think it can hold much weight. I can't go north. Do I need to reload this area until I get the rainbow again? I am suspicious. Actually, that's not quite right, is it? I suppose I mean I suspect something. Examine rainbow. And it's gone. The rainbow is pretty. The sun came out. I'm just worried this is going to be some sort of soft lock. I was supposed to do something with that I don't know. Wear a ring. Could it be a magic ring? The ring is on your finger. It seems. You're at the east edge of a deep gorge. There is a rickety bridge crossing. North. South. West. You're too heavy. The bridge collapses. You are dead. No checkpoints. Just sticks you right back at the start of the game. Oh, I've got an idea. Rainbows are associated with leprechauns, aren't they? And in King's Quest 1, I think it was, we played a harp to distract some leprechauns. When you play the harp, it sings beautifully. The sun came out. Okay, that apparently wasn't anything. Allegedly. So what do we have? A large rock, an empty flask, a stick, a pocket knife, a note, a ring, a large rock, a locket, an apple, an empty vial, a shovel, a harp. Sorry. It's way simpler. Oh, so there is something to do with the rainbow then. Oh, I refill my flask. No way. Nope. I thought I would take advantage of the drizzle. Hang on, before I go that way, once again, a large rock, an empty flask, a stick, a pocket knife. None of that I can see how it'd be helpful. A note, a ring, a large rock, a locket, an apple, an empty vial, a shovel, a harp. Go rainbow? There's a gold coin here. Take coin. Do I have the coin? Hocus again? Hiss? Oh, now I should be able to cross the bridge. Cross bridge. You're too heavy. Even as a snake? Guess we're a large snake. Magic word that makes your inventory lighter. Lucy. Everything you're carrying disappears. You have nothing left. That's true. I never tested to see if it comes back after a while. That's a good point. But if it will come back after a while, that would imply that I could have got past the gnome that way as well. Lucy? Nothing happens. I hope my stuff comes back. Oh, I bet my items... I just checked the guide. I was supposed to say Lucy. That's all I read. I haven't been spoilt for anything else. I bet my items reappear in that cave or something. You're in a cave. It ends right here. It does. Take all. So presumably, whenever I said Lucy, all my stuff will turn up here. What happens if I say it in here? Everything you're carrying disappears. You have nothing left. Huh. So it's a magic spell which causes all my items to appear in a particular cave. Well then. Very adventure game logic though, isn't it? You would never solve a problem that way in real life. Examine giant. There is an angry looking giant here. Talk. No way. Give coin? The giant doesn't want it. North, west, east, west, south. So I need to go north and I need to placate the giant. A large rock, a coin, an empty flask, a stick, a pocket knife, a note, a ring. A large rock, a locket, an apple, an empty vial, a shovel, a harp. Play harp. The giant is a great lover of music. He thanks you for the harp and leaves with it. You're in the mountains. Oh, we don't have a harp anymore. There is a peddler selling wares for 1 gold coin each. You're in the foothills on the north side of the mountain. How am I going to know what item I need? Also, isn't 1 gold tremendously valuable? This is certainly a game. Hello, Kara. Lovely to see you. I have been using the guide a lot. I keep getting stuck. How are you? There are boots, a jug of wine, a dagger, a horn, and a frying pan on the table. That's right, I beat King's Quest last... was it last week? It would have been, yeah, on Friday. Oh, I'll announce this again at the end of the stream as well. But it's looking very likely I won't be able to stream on Friday. So I'll probably do that stream on Saturday instead. But that's Elden Ring. Yeah, I don't think I have anything that conflicts on Saturday. And then obviously Monday would be back to adventure gaming. The problem is, how would I know what item I would need at this stage? It's again it feels like another one of these puzzles that, well, they don't tell you what you need in order that you're going to get it wrong and have to go back. Do you know what you're planning to play now? Well, I'm hoping to finish this today. I do have another text adventure that we could potentially look at today. As for the next game after today, starting on Monday, I don't know. I could look into Police Quest maybe, if people wanted to see that. I don't know. What would people like to see me play? Oh, there is a way you can, if you use the !! suggest command, people in chat can now actually suggest games for me, and it will go to a Google sheet, a Google spreadsheet that I can peruse in my own time. So that's a thing. Rather than my adding games to a list on my computer manually. Oh, Nightbot has just suggested that. I'm leaning towards I just use the guide and find out what item I need. I don't see the value in my picking an item, getting it wrong, and then coming back here. The only alternative would be I keep going until I get stuck and realise one of these items might have done it. Buy the biggest one. The horn? Is that a horn? Pikachu would be happy. The peddler says 1 gold coin. You're in the foothills on the north side of the mountain. Give coin. No way. Buy horn? Well, we have the horn. South. North. South. East. West. South. North. The peddler's just gone, aren't they? So that was a one-time thing. If I'd got it wrong, we would have to reload. Oh, a castle. Do you suppose that's where the princess is? You're in front of the castle. There is a moat around the castle full of crocodiles. That presents a problem. A large rock, an empty flask, a stick, a pocket knife. Oh, play horn, maybe? Maybe they'll bring a drawbridge down? You're in front of the castle. There is a moat around the castle full of crocodiles. Oh, that worked. Okay. So to be fair, although I still think that Sierra was deliberately set that up so that you'd pick the wrong item and then have to go back, because it looks like that's exactly how it works. To be fair, you wouldn't have been going back far. You're in the entry hall of the castle. There are doorways to the north, west and south behind you. Okay. Just saw you did the Carandia games already. I have, yes. They were good. Second one was by far the best, in my opinion. North, east, and west. Let's have another map. Throne room. Interesting. Hang on, wasn't it the king that sent me out to find his daughter? Who had been taken by the evil wizard... Harlin. So what am I doing in the castle? You hear a wicked laugh and I suddenly zap to... dash dash dash. There's an angry boar here, better watch out. You're in the courtyard. Give apple. The boar eats a poison apple and dies. There is a dead boar here. Was I supposed to do that? I didn't know the apple was poison. Hold on, I'm checking the guide. It doesn't look like I was. Oh, I was. Alright, fair enough. Take boar. To be fair, since the boar's been poisoned specifically, that's probably not a great idea. Okay. Dining room. Wait, was it just bad luck that he teleported me to the boar? I assume this is Harlin doing this. I'm in a maze. Wonderful. I don't like this whole teleporting about business. You're in a dungeon. There is a doorway to the east. There is a cell here. Examine cell. Go cell? Take shackle? I mean, there's something hanging down from the walls, which I assume are shackles. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to be interacting with them. Open cell. The door is locked. Unlock cell. You don't see a key. Talk. No way. Okay. Because the princess might be there, but she might not. Oh, passages go E, W, N, and S. Hold on. It does look like this isn't going to change. So I will actually make a map of this now. Right. So where was the exit? Was it east? No, it was west. No, it was north. South. South, but then I go east to get back in here. Okay. East to get in here. Right. West. West. North, south, and east. North. Takes us here. East gets us out. South. South. East. So west, north, east. Hang on. Right, so going south takes me back the way I came. So west is... Going either way seems to take me back the way I came. No, maybe I made a mistake. I can't tell. I may have actually moved in a more complex way than I realised. I did. Oh, that means I've lost track of where I was. I think. Ah, is this where I was? Yes. Alright, let's try that again. So east takes me here. What gets me... Logically, west should go back the way I came. And then... north should get me back here, yes. Okay. So just to be clear, the problem is that sometimes the geometry is non-Euclidean, and you go in a direction that you think would be the right direction to go in, and but you end up getting turned around. Like, you'll enter somewhere from the east, but then to leave the room you have to go south, for example. And I didn't realise that I had stumbled across two identical looking what's the word? Crossroads. This place is certainly not built on a grid. That's for certain. Okay. So if there's anything here, then it has to be going to the east. And then south. And here's where we're not so sure. Look, I have to watch FOMC. Be right back. I'm not sure what that is, but I hope you have a lovely time. Right, south. Another dead end. I think I've just gone the way I did before. Right, I get it. Oh my goodness, this place is horrible. I'm just about keeping up with all of this. It does keep going back on itself. Like, or going over itself, I suppose I mean. So, you might go... back in the entry hall. Okay, I found my way out. What was I thinking? So for example, you might have a crossroads. So it can go north, east, south or west. So you go west. That takes you somewhere. You go back to the crossroads. You go north, you go east, and then you go south. You don't end up where you were when you just went east. Like, it's non-Euclidean, and then again, we don't know the distances involved. That could be, in theory, solved by the corridors having different lengths depending. But, you know, the point is, going east does not get you the same place as going north, east, south. I think I know where I am. Wait, does that make sense? Or have I got myself lost again? Okay, that wasn't quite where I thought it was, but that's okay. North. You're not telling me which ways are the exits? Okay. Right, it's a dead end. That's okay. Hang on. I want to go south. Then I want to go west. There we go. Right, another dead end. So I'll just use a shorthand for that. Right, in which case the only notable places here are the area with the boar, the area with the cell, and the way out. And we have fully mapped everything now. Wonderful. Right. So we've been to the throne room already. We know that's there. North. Ballroom. And I've been zapped to the cell. You are in a cell in a dungeon. Open door. The door is locked. Unlock door. It seems like game over, honestly. Yep. That's annoying. Did I have a save after this? It doesn't actually matter. Yeah, I did. It doesn't actually matter that much because oh, maybe I always go here if I try and go in that direction. Because we haven't actually accomplished much. Other than mapping, which is permanent progress, because I've got the map in front of me. There we go. Up. Right. Room with a closet, okay. Welcome back, Pikachu. Oh, I went east, not west. That's fine. What is from C, Toto? I was wondering the same thing. Were you streaming, Pikachu? Enter closet? Which direction? Go closet? Examine closet. Take shoes. Examine shoes. Whoosh? Okay. Interesting. I don't know what I expected, but it wasn't that. No, it's a Wednesday. Yes, I remember. You don't stream on Wednesdays, do you? You're in a tiny room. Suddenly you're zapped to the hallway. That's one room away. So they don't want me talking to that frog. I'm starting to realise that getting zapped around isn't random. It's deterministic. We always end up in the same place if we started in the same place. Like, if we do the same thing... we always end up in the location we end up at is always determined by what we did, it seems like. Even though there's no apparent logic behind it. Well, alright, what happens if I do whoosh? Nothing happens. Okay. Can you identify the international registration letters that mark the vehicles hailing from the land where east meets west, Turkey? Find out when the ads end in about 3 minutes. I don't know. Oh, TR. That makes sense. I'm a bit stuck for what to do next, to be honest. What do I have in my inventory? A large rock, a pair of shoes, an empty flask, a stick, a pocket knife, a note, a ring, a large rock, a locket, an apple, an empty vial, a shovel, a horn. And that's it. Who lowered the drawbridge for us when we played the horn? If no one else is in here, other than a wizard and maybe a princess. Okie dokie, Pikachu. Take flag. It's fastened to the wall. Examine flag. You see nothing special. Why could I interact with it if I could do nothing with it? That's the game over state, isn't it? Oh, hang on. I should have tried whoosh. Wear shoes. Whoosh. You're transported to Serenia. You're in the village of Serenia. Around you is a desert. Okay. That's no use. Nice to know we can do that. Not an immediate help. So what do I do? It's probably a location I don't know I can go. Or an item I don't know I can pick up. Examine throne. Well, I don't particularly fancy going back through the maze, even though I have a map. I don't see the point. Kiss frog. Do you think they've reversed the whole fairy tale in this game and the frog is actually the princess? We really need a solution to getting zapped about so I can access the rest of the areas, but I've no idea what that's going to look like. Oh, I guess I look it up. Oh, I do. Hang on, I haven't looked anything up. I just remembered I do have the ring. The ring is on your finger. Rub ring? When you rub the ring, the sensation of being covered with fur engulfs you, then quickly it goes away. Okay. Wasn't expecting that. Let me check my inventory again. A large rock, a pair of shoes, an empty flask, a stick, a pocket knife, a note, a ring. We haven't used the pocket knife yet. A large rock, a locket. Maybe the pocket knife could be used to pick a lock. An apple, an empty vial, a shovel, a horn. Alright. Having a bit of a look. Move northwest 3 times. Can I? North, west, west, west. I'm just going through the maze. North, east, east, north, north, west, north, east, east, east. Use knife to pick the lock on the door, open door and move. You pick the lock. I didn't know there was a lock in here. You're in a small empty room. There is a passage behind you. Open door. I didn't know that was there. I didn't understand that's what we were being shown. Well, then it's a good thing I looked it up, because I'd never have found this. Imagine how frustrated you'd be getting this far into the game and getting stuck just because you couldn't understand the artwork. Dearie me. Right, we did get teleported to the empty room, didn't we? Yes, so I know where we are. And which direction did we go in? East. Okay. Well, progress is being made. Oh. I didn't realise that would connect up like that. So what was it? North, west, 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 north, east, east, north, north, west, north, east, 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 up. You're in a tower. There are stairs leading down. Examine window? Up, down, and up. Oh my goodness, that is ridiculous. And then we rub the ring to catch. This is ridiculous. How is anyone supposed to figure this out? You turn into a cat, leap up and eat the bird. You're yourself again. There are stairs. What was the point in catching the bird? And who makes a ring that turns you into a cat, anyway? It says move down and east to kiss the frog, but we tried that before, coming from the other direction. It worked, okay. The frog becomes a princess. There is a princess following you, and you're in a tiny room. Well, now the question becomes... I have the shoes that can get us out of here, but how do I get her out of here? This only happens after catching the bird in the tower. Why? What's the relationship between the two? Move east twice. Okay, we can go east now. Oh, I know about the shoes. Open closet. Look closet, get shoes, wear shoes, say whoosh. Okay. So does the princess just come with us? Automatically? Oh, wear shoes. Guess I didn't put them on. You're transported to Serenia. There is a princess following you. You're in the village of Serenia. Around you is a desert. Oh, blimey, so we're at the end of the game. So the question is, what do I do now? Talk? Congratulations, you have safely returned the princess to Serenia. For this outstanding feat, you have been declared a Junior Master Adventurer. Green Valley Publishing thanks you for playing the wizard and the princess. Press any key to quit. Oh, I wonder if Green Valley were the ones that ported it to Apple. Blimey. So, completed. Bit of a shame, especially with the end. You know, all the stuff I had to look up. But I wouldn't have got that. I'm annoyed about the door that I didn't understand could be... Like, I didn't the thing is, the game art keeps turning you around. You'll enter a room and you won't be looking at it from the angle from which you entered it from. And we know that because you will enter a room from, say, the north, but then to go back, you have to go east, for example. So clearly your character's entered the room and then turned around. But it's been doing that all game, so I've stopped assuming that we're looking in the direction we came from. So when I could see there was something there, but I had no reason to believe that was an exit that we hadn't interacted with. You know, that could easily be the door from which we entered the room from, is what I'm getting at. And, what was I going to say? That could easily be the door we entered the room from. And it wasn't even mentioned in the text for the room. Like, if they had said, there's a locked door in here, that would have changed it completely. And then I would have been very, very likely to have tried the pocket knife on it, which is exactly... Because I called it earlier. I thought it was for the cell rather than that door. But I said earlier we could pick a lock with that pocket knife potentially. And we did. That was the way to progress. But the way it was presented meant that I just didn't comprehend that there was anything I could do in that room at that point. And then the whole, you have to turn into a cat and eat the bird just so that you can kiss the frog princess. Again, it makes zero sense. Would never have got that in a million years. Not without trial and error. Oh well. Federal Open Market Committee, USA. Jerome Powell speaking. Oh, interesting. Is that to do with... curbing monopolies?